right. I want to congratulate y'all for making it to episode 5. This is the Weird Times podcast. I am one of your hosts, 817-ROD-682, Tarrant County Zone. On the other side of the screen, I got my mans. Introduce yourself.
You know what it is. It's Thrice Dust, man. I don't know if it's congratulations or worry. Because if you made it this far, your ass might be bored out your mind. Or, I don't know, man. But we trying, man. We getting it together, man. Better every episode. That's the goal, you know. So thanks for rocking with us, man. You know, and let's keep it moving, man. Thrice Dust, man. What's happening?
Listen, man, I'm going to go ahead and call a baby ugly. I'm going to call a spade as I normally do. We actually tried to record this 2 nights ago, but we were both out of our minds. So once again, we are recording off schedule. I don't know why this man has a problem with our podcast. I personally love it. We are just being open and honest. Like, there's no fucking script other than the topics that we're going to cover. So y'all are just getting us. You're welcome. And if you don't like it, it's easy to turn this motherfucker off. So if you keep listening, I appreciate you. And you being open to hearing my views, opinions, because they are most of the time just and scientifically proven. While on the other side of this podcast, he's just wild and radical. So thank you.
And that there, people, that beautiful soliloquy was one of the reasons why this podcast. I'm just kidding, man. Hey, way to preach it, man. Way to bring it in, man. Hey, man, y'all gotta bear with me, man. I just woke up from a power nap. You know how I do. I try to sleep at least 12 hours a day because I'm a bum. So hibernation is key to success. I feel like a lot of people tell you to sleep less. I tell you to sleep more. So what's up, man? We way behind on a lot of topics because, you know, we missed the whole day, so it's not fresh.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get this until Thursday anyway, so it's not like it matters. But on that note, we want to first, you know, take a time out and send our condolences to Nipsey Hussle and all his family. A man meant a lot to me personally. Just to seeing his moves early in the game and the people that he aligned with. And every year you saw the man, grow both, spiritually and, mentally. So that's, you know, salute to that guy.
Yeah, man. Nipsey's passing was untimely, man. And, actually it's probably better that we touch this topic later so we could really have time to digest the situation and really let it play out and see, get all the information. But yeah, man, it's really unfortunate. Me and Nipsey are the same age, and I can tell you right now that he was accomplishing the things that as a kid I could only dream about. You know what I'm saying? Owning your own stuff. You know what I mean? Being truly meaningful to someone. Actually meaningful to a lot of people. So, you know, it's really unfortunate. You know, and like, Rod said, condolences to his family, man. And, you know, the people he touched in that neighborhood, man. I'm glad that, although this situation wasn't wanted, it really shed some light on how great of a man he was and how big of a career and how much impact he had, you know?
Yeah. And, just to be like up front, most people think that, you know, Nip was just getting into the limelight. You know, he was just getting his just due as a rapper. But this was really his first album and he got a Grammy nod for it. And the things that I followed more than the music was his actions and how he moved within the community. To me, he was just on a higher level. He was on a higher level of understanding. His heart was just in his community, in his people, in his hood. And if you've watched videos of his interactions with people, 90% of them weren't about music, Doc. Like, yeah, he got on stage with a lot of people, helped boost a lot of people's careers. Was loved by everybody, but it was the videos with the community, the videos with Gary Vaynerchuk, the videos with his business partner and how they started Vector 90, the videos with his homeboy getting home. And the first thing they did was buy up the block. The same block that they used to kick them out as kids, they went back and bought them and made those same people his tenants.
Yeah.
But he didn't force them out just because they treated him a certain way when he was younger. He said, no, I want to keep y'all in the community because y'all been in this community since I was young. And that was his whole motto, his record label, all money in, no money out. It was his lifestyle. Bring money in the community, keep it there. Like, spend that money building up your community. Don't make these kids have to go, 30, 40 minutes to go and work on projects together. They can do that in their own community, in a sanctuary, in their own hood.
Yeah, man. Really the definition of a rose in the concrete, man. A once in a lifetime individual. It's very rare that you find someone so young that has that much understanding of himself and the people around him. And, cause it takes a lot for you not only to make yourself better. That's extremely hard work, but for you to make yourself better and then recognize the problems in the community and how you can change those in a positive outlook, man, that takes a lot, man. So he's a once in a lifetime individual, man. He'll surely be missed, man. And it's tough, man. It's tough, man. It's tough when you lose a soldier that's for good, and it really makes you think that it should really make you appreciate your life, because you probably 95% of the time, most of us are probably upset about nothing, and we go through our days mad about some petty shit, some little shit, mad at our old lady about something stupid, mad at our kids about something stupid. If you got kids, mad at your boss, well, none of that really matters. You know what I'm saying? Cause, you could go tomorrow, so, it don't matter when you go. You could be in your prime. You know what I'm saying? You could just bought your house. You could just, everything could be looking forward and great. And all of a sudden it's over. So, you should just really appreciate and be thankful for the time you have and just really just commit to just being a better person,
Absolutely. And I think that kind of gets into the topic that I wanted to kind of piggyback off of just the mourning of Nipsey, but getting to that higher level of understanding, getting to that higher plane of immortality, right? Because at this point, Nipsey is immortal, right? And I'm sorry if I sound out, Eric, I'm getting emotional because I am, but Crenshaw and Slauson is being turned into Nipsey Hussle Boulevard.
Thought it was Square.
Or Square. It is Square, isn't it? That entire, his entire complex is what I mean, because it's at the corner of Crenshaw and Slauson. And the reason why Nipsey means a lot to me, because, I grew up in Fort Worth when, gang culture was getting really big. It's still big in some sections of Fort Worth. There's some sections that you can't go into if you don't know, what sets are around and what colors to wear and this, that, and the third. But, we have a Crenshaw on Fort Worth, and that's actually where one of our flea markets is. And I used to go to that flea market all the time. Like, it's right down the road from, Morningside, Middle School. Shout out Morningside Vikings. But yeah, it's a big Crip area, but it's like separated by two big rival gangs. So seeing how he navigated that and kind of seeing the things that he came from and he probably had to do to turn it into so much positivity, that takes a higher level of understanding. That takes a higher mental capacity for self. Like Drew said, he had a lot of understanding of himself. And I think that's the biggest thing that we need to let go, you know?
Yeah. One of his biggest attributes, I think, was him being genuine. I remember I stumbled on a video, and I mean, everybody loves a genuine person. You know what I mean? In a world full of, now, no disrespect to the Kardashians, or no disrespect to people in entertainment, but in a world full of people that they just plaster in front of you to make you attracted to, you know, it's still genuine people like SZA, like her, like you know, Lupita, like just people you just can relate to, you know what I'm saying? And that you can vibe with, you know. And I think I remember seeing a video with him, and some cat was in the audience, and he was like, "Yo, Nip, you know, you mean a lot to me, man, and I want you to hear my music," you know. And Nip was like, "So, you know, let me hold a CD." And he was like, "I ain't got no CD. I ain't got that shit. Let me just spit it for you right now," you know. And Nip could have easily been like, "I ain't got time," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not in a respectful manner, you know. But he let him do his whole set. And was it the greatest thing ever? No, but he let him ride it out. You know what I'm saying? And he showed him respect, and he told him, "Yo, when you get your stuff together, when you get your music together, come through the shop, man. And you know what I mean? We can talk about it." You know what I'm saying? And that's all it takes, man, because, you know, a lot of people just don't have somebody that understands them, man. And that's just what it really comes to, man. Just being genuine and realizing that everybody's the same. And, you know, it doesn't matter where you're from. There's smart people in the hood, just like there's smart people in Harvard. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They just have different opportunities. And so, you know, and Nip I feel like he really, really understood that, you know, and he really, really wanted to accomplish that. So, I mean, you know, I can't say enough about the man, you know.
Absolutely. Even me being, you know, a bit older than him, I still had so much. I looked up to him in so many ways because he was doing things that I set out to do. You know, whenever I left UT, the first thing that I wanted to do was create this co-working space and this nonprofit program, which I still might do, that focused on STEM. And then, you know, right before Victory Lap drops, that's what he's pushing. He's talking about his album, but what he's really pushing is this concept of bringing kids from the hood and getting them on science, tech, engineering, and math based careers and jobs and doing things of that nature. So, and he even mentioned, talk about being genuine. He even mentioned that he had just learned about it 6 months before they started putting this together. He let his business partner pretty much run forward, and he was all about it. As long as it was helping the kids and bringing something back to the community, he was all about it.
Yeah. I think people need to be, something that needs to correlate with people and needs to resonate with people is being more than, you know, and, you can, and there's so many rappers in the world, you know what I mean? Everybody's a rapper. Everybody's an artist. Everybody's this and that and that. And
everybody's an entrepreneur.
Yeah. But there's not people that's more than.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I meet rappers, especially these young cats coming up, man, you know, I'll meet them or an artist and I'll ask them, you know, what else you doing besides rapping? You know what I'm saying? Like, I always support everybody I see on Instagram that's is an artist of some sort. I always support them. You know what I mean? If they selling something and I can see that they doing it themselves, but I also ask them like, what are you doing? Like what else is going on other than the music? Because that's what's going to get you further in life. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was younger and Gucci Mane first came out, was he the best rapper? Hell no. But he was doing more than for the other people around him. You know, everybody out here in Atlanta, Gucci Mane's a staple. He put all these new cats on, man. He really took what Atlanta had made. And what Atlanta was going to go through, and, you know, maybe hip hop heads don't agree that it was good for the culture, but what he did was he took people that probably would have never got on or never heard of and let them ride his wave and platform, and he was more than, you know. So that's what it's really all about, being more than, you know. So I just encourage people every day. You might work at Burger King, but you're more than a Burger King worker. You could be more than a minimum wage person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You could be a coach. You could be a motivator. You could be all kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're in a relationship, but you need to be more than just a boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? You need to be a friend in general to your old lady or to your man or whatever, you know. When you're an artist, but you got to be more than just an artist. You have to be everything that you can be. And, you know, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but that's just what I feel about, you know, elevating yourself to another level. You know, Kobe, he was a basketball player, you know what I'm saying? But he was a hard worker. That's what made him the best. Or Jordan, that's what made him the best. They go into the gym before everybody. They were more than just a basketball player. They were hard workers. You know what I mean? They didn't want to lose, you know? So, I mean,
to go off of that, we can segment into basketball on this same topic. I just watched the video Budweiser did for Dwayne Wade's last game, and he had 5 spots open. And the people that showed up for Dwayne Wade were, I don't want to go into all of them, but they were all affected by Dwayne in ways outside of basketball. And his mother basically said, and I didn't know his mother had spent time in prison. So that was huge to see, and him being so open with that. And she said, more than the basketball player, I'm proud of the man you became. And I think that's what we should all strive for, right? Becoming better people in general, because being more than has to do with more than an occupation. It's how you spend your free time. What do you want to accomplish? What is it that you're trying to leave for the world? And that's how I talk about immortality. And on the throwaway version of this, I talked about the 7 planes of existence or being, which Drew tried to say it was numerology, but I think it's actually more in line with like Hermetic thinking.
okay.
But just talking about the different planes. So getting off of your plateau and just being a worldly person and being, you know, understanding that it's bigger than you. It's levels to this shit. Like everybody says, like, yeah, you can operate at your normal mental capacity or your physical capability, but you can also merge the two and become an expansion of what your being is. You know what I'm saying? What your physical self is.
Yeah, man, I totally agree, man. You sound like the fourth Yoda, dog. Like, I thought the lifesaver was about to come out your ass just now.
I try to bring some intelligent conversation to this because the Lord
intelligent
knows
he is.
I had to I'm feeling kind of sad right now because I got a blank wall because I had to take all my shit down. But
podcast he must.
You done? You finished or you done? That's another dude. Hey, regardless of what you want to say about Birdman, Birdman falls in line with like Gucci and Nipsey and all them. Like he gave people, and Master P, like when people were throwing people's careers away or they were getting outcast, you know, P and Birdman and Gucci, they're all open, you know, bringing people in. Like y'all don't know how deep Gucci is in Atlanta with Young Thug, Migos, him and Coach K and the what's the studios called out there? Damn, can't even think of the name of the Patchwork. Patchwork Studios is a fucking staple, bruh. Like, you're talking about OJ, the Juice Man. You're talking about Waka Flocka. You're talking about Young Thug, Migos, Pee Wee Longway. All the people that have been and gone through Patchwork Studios, and to this day, going through Patchwork Studios with City Girls and the Baby and Gunna and all those folks. Like, you're talking about a long list of people that they put on to give them a shot, not to mention all the stuff that Gucci's doing in the community and the clothing and food drives and all that. Like post-prison Gucci, if you ain't seeing his fucking glow up, there's something wrong with you. And I highly, highly recommend you listen to or read his book. I did both. I read the book first, then I listened to the audio book. Like it's a great story if you're not familiar with it.
And Gucci's example of coming from the bottom and doing it. I mean, even if you're not from the bottom, like, you know who doesn't get a lot of credit, who deserves a lot of credit because we think he's corny? Nick Cannon. You know what I'm saying? Nick Cannon has been literally putting on black people and
for decades
and making shows tailored toward the culture for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't get nowhere near the respect he deserves because maybe, you know, he lets the joke ride. But I mean, you know, you got to give a lot of respect to Nick Cannon, man, because, you know, he's just he's a normal person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Gucci and T.I. and these guys, these are, you know, not tough guys, but, you know, they
street dudes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they carry themselves by a moral code. You know what I mean? I mean, this moral code exists throughout everybody, but,
same with Hove, man. I mean, Hove is another street dude that's paved way. And as of recent, you can't tell me that Hove's not doing it for a higher purpose. Like the Nipsey Hussle Fund, the helping 21 Savage out, helping Lil Uzi out, helping Meek Mill out. Doc, how many times does a man have to extend his hand before you recognize his greatness? So if you try to tell me Hove's not the GOAT, rap and like giving wise, like you've lost your mind, bro.
And also forgiveness, man, because it takes time for people to develop and see what you want them to be, you know, because and you got to understand that people aren't perfect. I put it like this: I'm a huge Kanye fan, right? And we could go right into this Kodak situation based off Kanye and Kodak, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. Two totally different people and two totally different situations, but they're both tormented souls, and you could tell in their behavior and in their music that they're very creative and their outlets are big. Their platforms are very big. But mentally, I think that they struggle with understanding who they are, which is the opposite of what Nipsey does. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think that with some growth and some time and with people forgiving them, they can understand what they did wrong or, you know, the moves they're making and better themselves. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that Kanye's not doing... He's mature. He's a family man. You know what I'm saying? He has a wife, but, you know, he's dealing with all kinds of issues. You know what I mean? Mental health issues. And Kodak, even though we know he hasn't expressed that himself, come on, man. You can't be mad at Kodak for the comments he made, I think, regarding the Nipsey situation, because I don't think he understands what empathy or tact even is.
Yeah.
I don't think he can even comprehend. I think when people are telling him, yo, you tripping, he don't even know what he's tripping about, like, genuinely, right. You know? So, I mean, you know, I know that a lot of people wanted to get Kodak out of here, man, and Kodak has a two-step, but Kodak comes from a place that's dirt, you know what I'm saying? So, and I mean, I don't know Kodak's upbringing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who he had around him, like his family. I don't know. I don't want to speak on that because I don't know. I'm not well versed in that, but I know that he's from dirt, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, but in his music, the way he expressed himself, I can see that glimmer in it. You know what I mean? I can hear lines where you can say, okay, I can see if somebody guides Kodak, he can be an individual that could be the next Nipsey. He's only, what, 23, 24?
Yeah. Young. And that's another thing you got to look. Like, maturity is everything. And sometimes you just need to humble yourself. And I'm dealing with a situation where I really need somebody to humble themselves and not expect, you know, something out of... No. Just like you can't expect something out of somebody when you've already, you know, gone past... like, their want to work with you has gone out the window. So you can't force them to do anything. Like, first of all, we're all human. Like, we all make mistakes and nobody's blaming anybody for any situation. But he prefaced the video with, man, I know I got to get out there and do more for my community, yada, yada, yada. He was actually, giving praise to Nip, but with social manipulation, they took the video and they cut out the excerpts. And I'm not saying that any of the book shelf or bookmarking would even make a difference in context with what he said. But like Drew said, like, he doesn't have empathy, but at the same time, you have to be empathetic with his situation. The fact that he doesn't have empathy. You know what I'm saying?
Because the same people that understand what he did wrong knows what the problem is. But then you're doing the same thing he's doing to him.
Exactly.
And I think that's where the problem lies. You know what I'm saying? What happens is a lot of these younger cats who express themselves so great because they don't have no outlet. Their one outlet is music. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these street cats and these young cats, this is where their problem lies. They have no self-expression other than their music. So when you listen to Kodak, you hear the pain. You know what I'm saying? When you listen and these cats is hitting these notes, YM Melly or Lil Baby, you know what I'm saying? You can hear the expression, how much they want it. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're not the best rapper, you know what I'm saying? It's almost.
Lil Baby is the best rapper alive.
I'm a fan of the Baby, but I feel like it's almost Tupac-esque. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean it in a way to say that they're on Tupac's level, but I mean like Tupac was so passionate about what he was saying. You know what I'm saying?
Listen to me.
Even though these people are ignorant to a bigger or a greater cause or a greater point, they just know what they know. You can tell that they're passionate about that and they're passionate about their people and their music. You know what I'm saying? So, I think Kodak is willing to learn. I think he's going to learn from this. You know what I'm saying? And I think instead of, T.I., and I'm not knocking T.I., you know what I'm saying? Or the game. But instead of saying, yo, you need to fix it, why don't you just explain to him how to fix it?
Or what he did from the jump. Like, and that's another thing about social engineering. I don't want to say social engineering, social manipulation. These avenues for us to express ourselves, we got to be the first to address stuff, right? So rather than hitting your man that on a private message, you got to hit him out in the jump. Like there's a clothing company last week that was putting out some Nipsey Hussle stuff, and they misspelled hustle. I hit him in the DM. I told him, hey, bro, I love what you're doing. And I don't want to disrespect you or anything. That's why I sent you a private message. But you spell, hustle is HUSSLE instead of normal hustle. And he was like, yeah, bro, I saw it. I fixed it. I appreciate you reaching out. Like that can be done in confidence. It doesn't have to be, this to get likes or views, bro. It can be just us being genuine people. And that's where we go back to genuineness. Like you want to be trending or whatever, it shouldn't be the most important thing. It should be educating your young brother. Like,
yeah. And that's why for me, I'm just, I'm not going to, because I'm empathetic. So I know that T.I. in the game was really close to Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to knock them for how they
going off of pure emotion.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, these are the two of the cats that should understand the most not give a fuck attitude at all, because when they was young cats, they did not give a fuck.
For real, especially Game. Game still really doesn't. Game still calling people out, just like 50.
Game shits on everyone, literally. You know what I'm saying? Not empathetic at all for a long time. He's been doing it forever. You know what I'm saying? And T.I. not so much, but you could definitely tell when T.I. was younger that you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't really care about what you had going on. You know what I mean? So
And Game should have been Nipsey, in my opinion. Like, Game had the opportunities, and he did do a lot of things. Like, even his damn company name, Black Wall Street. I mean, he was doing things to try to empower the hood, but his section of the hood, I don't think, wanted to hear it because of the space that he was still in. He was still on that, like, I don't give a fuck attitude. Whereas as Nipsey was on, you know, yeah, his music may have still been like the gangster life, but he still gave you jewels and gems for you to keep up on. And the way he walked around, the way he presented himself was in that mind state of, I want to help you. I want to help you better yourself. Like, I want to help better the hood. And that's where I try to dissociate Pac from Nipsey. Cause I feel like Pac is in the same situation Kodak, or was in the same situation Kodak is in that he's still got too many of the wrong influences around for him to be as great as he can be. And Pac's demise, to me, was all thanks to not only him getting shot, but Suge. Because when Pac first came out, like, Pac was an actor, a dancer, you know what I'm saying, an activist. He had his awoken period at a very young age. And it seemed like the more the people around him got more street, he took on that role, because you're a product of your environment, right? Yeah. So whenever Suge, you know, after he's been shot and everybody's putting that it's Bad Boy and Biggie in your ear, and then Pac, who openly disrespected Bad Boy, comes, picks you up from prison, bails you out, first of all, pays that bail to bail you out, puts you on a limo that takes you to a private jet, that takes you to a studio, has you in a new video with the biggest rapper, you know, producer in the world, and Dr. Dre. And you get to flash money and talk about, you know, how you're taking over. And that he still embodies that gang life. So where Pac was kind of reverting to a more, I don't want to disrespect Pac in any way, but you could see that the passion that was in a Dear Mama, Brenda's Got a Baby was now in a Hit 'Em Up, Hail Mary. Like,
for sure. I tell you the difference. I feel like the difference between Pac and the difference between Nipsey for me is Pac is like a blank canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Pac was,
he could adapt.
He was an absorber.
Yep.
And what he absorbed, he presented. Mm-hmm. Nipsey, on the other thing, whatever the opposite of absorption is, I guess release. Nipsey was like a person who said, you know what? I know all this. Let me put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Let me, you know, Pac was, okay, it's bad over here. I see that. Let me express that. Nipsey was like, I see the bad, but I know that there's better. Let me release that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, you know, that's the difference. I mean, two great men, you know what I'm saying? Two people that we lost at, unfortunate times, man, that could have changed the world totally, man. But you know, that's the bottom line for me, man. I think that, you should always just do what you feel is the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. You know, and I just think that in the end, getting back to the Kodak topic, we should just have more understanding as a people, man, because not everybody's gonna be Muhammad Ali, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's gonna be the captain of the team, but you know, there's still people who can make a difference. There's still people who have voices, you know what I'm saying? And once they understand that, you know, and what's crazy is, honestly, if Kodak came out and he was a totally different person and he was a saint, y'all would get him out of here.
Yeah. People
would get Kodak out of here. If he wasn't on some pain and anguish shit in his music, and he wasn't on some, you know, Lil Baby shit. And, I mean, not Lil Baby the rapper, but like on some, you know, just the lingo, you know, y'all would get that nigga out of here, you know? Yeah. And I think it's unfair.
It's very unfair.
Because y'all love a person for their faults, but hate them at the same time for their faults. You know what I'm saying?
And this is, you know, the kind of the last topic that I wanted to touch on falls right in line. So good job on that.
Thank you. I call myself King Transitional. Is that terrible for this podcast? Can we cut that out?
I will definitely leave
I
that
don't
in.
want to be called King Transitional. I was spitballing. Yeah, I was spitballing and then I regretted it because King Transitional is probably the stupidest shit.
About to be thrice Deborah out this bitch.
Yeah, that's the stupidest shit I've heard in my life. Damn, I'm terrible at this podcast and shit.
Yeah, but you know, this idea of a biased morality, right? Like, we all want to bash and beat up people for certain things, but then you turn around and you big up others for other things. And I'm not throwing this at anybody in specific because I know that I do it all the time, but like, you can't draw the line in the sand when it's the exact same situation. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll talk about culture vultures for a second, right?
Culture vultures, okay.
Yep. We'll talk about DJ Academics, and we'll talk about
DJ Academics is a culture vulture?
I believe DJ Academics is a culture
I ain't been on that. I have not heard anything from DJ Academics really. I must see since for a while. I guess his platforms maybe fell off a little bit.
I mean, Nipsey called him out several times about not respecting the culture and just being like, first of all, he's not a DJ. So how he got the name DJ Academics, I don't know. He just threw it on his name. That's disrespectful off the jump. And then just not respecting, like, he's not from any form of this life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to say this life, like I've been, you know, fucking just in the streets my whole life. But I have been in the streets. Like, there's no.
Okay, Al Capone.
No, it's not even anything like that. I'm just saying I've been around people in the streets and I've been in the streets doing street.
Where your people stay, cuh?
And he doesn't even have any knowledge other than what he's seen on TV screen, which is a majority of like media in general, right? They don't really know, so they're trying to go out and seek. But I think that's where he has that disconnect, is he's not of the culture. He hasn't been in the weeds with the culture. He hasn't worked for a label. He hasn't done anything musically that he should be able to speak on.
He doesn't go outside.
I'm not saying he doesn't go outside. He has to show up to the Complex Studios at some time.
I mean, not literally go outside.
But yeah, that's exactly it. Like, you're not in the weeds with these people. You're not standing out on the block. You're not.
But you know what? To piggyback on what you're saying, man, not to cut you off, I don't know if you had a deeper point that I did.
I do have a very deep point.
Let me finish. Let you finish your point. Go ahead.
Okay. And then you go on to Vlad, who's also doing the same thing, but they're interviewing these people who are, you know, known felons, known drug dealers, known misogynists, known just dirty people, or were, right? And that's even in the case of Nip. Like, Nip was a gangbanger. Nip went to prison, right? So you have these people that are known, quote unquote, bad people, what they would consider bad people, but they're expressing them for views, but then turn around when somebody does something like Cardi B last week, when she talks about drugging and taking people's money, right? She talks about that, and they go and bash her. But these men have sat on the same side of the couch, or women have sat on the same side, opposite side of the couch, talking to you about the same things that they did, how they used to stick people up and shoot people and stab people, sell drugs. They get a pass because they're helping you get views, but then you bash another person to get views. So you can't have this biased morality. Like, either you don't fuck with that way of life at all, or you have an understanding and empathy for it. You know what I'm saying?
I think your point was very well thought out. I think your point was very well spoken. I like your point, but I'm going to have to disagree.
Okay.
And why I'm going to have to disagree with what a culture vulture is, right? So, And
oh, so you're just disagreeing with the term culture vulture.
Well, well, what you spoke on first, I think.
Okay, let's not call them culture vultures. Go ahead.
I feel what you're saying. I do, and I know what you're saying. You're saying that he's being a hypocrite, right?
Being two-faced. Yep.
And I would agree. I think DJ Vlad and those guys, they have a platform, and they don't use that platform wisely.
Yeah. Ethically.
They use their platform for clicks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is what the culture has evolved to. So are they abusing the culture, or are they manipulation of the culture? The culture has become the web. The culture has become clicks. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why in life, Nipsey wasn't getting the credit he deserved, but in death, he's the greatest person ever. That's exactly why. Because Nipsey wasn't getting clicks. Just like Big Crit. Big Crit is probably the Nipsey Hussle for the South. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say he's as involved, because I don't really know what Crit is involved in, but his message has always been positive.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And at this moment, you know, he maybe has one of the best albums of the last 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? But is he on the same level as Young Thug? No, because it's about what you can dance to on your IG videos. It's about what you can put behind your Fortnite videos. You know what I mean? You can't put a Big Crit song behind shooting people on Fortnite. It don't buy. This is what the culture is becoming. And then you have so many outlets to absorb the culture. It's going to make a monstrosity of people who don't understand it. It's kind of like people can pick up waves so much. It's kind of like I seen a video the other day, and not knocking white people, but knocking white people at the same time. It was at a wedding or something, and it was a whole bunch of white people trying to do this one dance. Mm-hmm. And it was horrendous. It was the worst shit ever. You know what I'm saying? It was god awful, you know? But it's like, can I fault them? Can I be mad at them for taking something they don't know anything about? But it's obviously for everyone to absorb, for everyone to have. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Can I knock DJ Academics for taking drill music, something he knows nothing about, and having opinion on it because it's in his face all the time?
No, but that's not where culture vulturing is the thing that I'm talking about. No. This just because you use the words, use the exact words that I would use to define a culture vulture.
No.
Manipulates?
No.
Or uses it for gain, right?
Okay. They're scavengers. You're right. There would be culture vultures because they're scavenging off something that they don't know anything about. But it's impossible not to scavenge.
But yes, the culture has transitioned to being about clicks and whatnot. And going back to that statement for the Kodak video, yeah, Tip and Game got clicks, but Tip and Game are of the culture. Like, that's not culture vulturing.
I didn't say that. I never said it.
Yeah, I no. But I'm saying just because it's the way the world has kind of transitioned, that doesn't mean that we should just allow everybody into it and speak on it. Just like, what's your girl's name that they got in her ass for going at Scotty Beam and Karen Civil?
You talking about
the white girl? Yeah. I don't even want to give her no props because I don't like the way she talked about Karen Civil. First of all, Karen Civil was a fucking legend. She got her own day at Madison Square Garden, so suck a dick to whoever. Jules, yes, Jules, ain't that your name? Fuck you.
I thought you were giving her no credit.
Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say. But like, you can't come in this culture not knowing anything about the culture, not being from the culture, not being from the life, and then utilize We shouldn't allow it though, and that's why I say we have to be the curators of the culture. We have to be the ones that curate the stuff that's going on because.
But you can, and not to get on some overly woke shit, but we've been giving our culture away for free forever.
We've been giving our culture away. But
so how are you mad at people for taking your culture if you're just gonna give it to them?
No. I'm not mad at them for taking the culture because even the white people in that video took the culture. I'm not mad about taking the culture. I'm mad about you manipulating it in your form or fashion when you know nothing about it. Speaking on something you know nothing about, and that's where we can go back to. Speak on what you know.
But we do that all the time.
No, but it's speak on what you know. You can express your thoughts, but when you try to put this on hard evidence, you have no fucking hard evidence on anything.
I think African Americans do it all the time. I know motherfuckers never been to Africa and they wearing like kente cloth and shit.
That's just trying to get back to your roots though. And just because you haven't been to Africa doesn't mean your parents didn't bring that back in teaching in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm okay.
I know Nigerians
that example is very. I mean, that's a terrible example.
It is terrible.
That example could have easily gotten eaten up in a debate, and I would still hold my own and kill y'all niggas. So if y'all ever want to debate with me, okay, I'll show enough your ass. You know what I mean? Last dragon ass. You a last dragon ass nigga, dog.
I'm not a last dragon
right now, dog. You know what I mean? You all wholesome ass. Yo, man, listen. The culture is no longer belonging to something. The culture has now been monetized. The culture is a business. The culture is a business. They took something that they took ass and made it a business. You can get famous off of ass now. Like back in the day, the floozy with the ass, you know what I mean? That was just like the they didn't really have no power. You know what I'm saying? The floozy with the ass is just a floozy with the ass. Like, damn, baby. You know what I mean? DMX would have put a brick in her butt and sent her up to floor 150. Bring it back. You know what I'm talking about? But now, the floozy with the big butt can tell you what to do, right? And I mean, not in no feminist, not in no sexist shit, but I'm saying like they have so much control over the culture, like they can dictate the next wave. You know what I'm saying?
And that's an issue that I have because you do have people that come in the game in the culture who are really about that life, and you can see it's not a front from the jump. People like Bad Baby, like even though we say it's ratchet or it's fake or it's what, like that don't seem ratchet or fake to me. Her doing it on a show with, you know what I'm saying?
I think that's all she knows. I don't think she
exactly
that shit, but she's so absorbed by it. Growing up, you know what I mean? Like that's all she just was into, you know what I mean?
But like
it's kind of like
Kodak situation. It's the same thing about Kodak. How can you fault that man when this is all he knows? He doesn't know. Nobody growing up showed this man, an empathy or they probably didn't show him no sympathy either. Like he probably had times where they get his ass beat and people just step over him. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he ever got his ass beat, but like I'm saying as a child, like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just think the biased morality is like and another thing, you gotta like weigh the, like they say all sin's the same, which okay, sure. But in a court of law, drugging and robbing somebody is completely different from drugging and forcing yourself on somebody sexually. I want you to understand that. Like, there is a difference. Is it wrong to drug somebody? I know we had this conversation last time. Is it wrong to drug somebody and potentially cause physical harm on them either way, whether you touch them or not? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So those drug charges, the same. But then when we get into the robbery versus a rape charge, it's completely different.
Well, I was listening to another podcast, man. I listen to it a lot, man. It's called Horrible Decisions. Shout out to them. It's a good podcast, man. It's definitely a different podcast for, but I listen to them faithfully. And they were talking about cause it's a total point of view that I would never understand. You know what I'm saying? So I was listening to them, and they were talking about how, you know, they have friends that are sex workers and they have friends that are of that environment. And they were saying that they would go home with these people not knowing if maybe they was going to rape them. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they was going to beat them up. Maybe they was going to get robbed. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so as a form of defense, they would possibly drug them, you know what I'm saying? Just to make sure they would get their money, or just to make sure they would cover their own ass. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I agreed, but I also disagreed. And the reason, I mean, we covered this topic before, and I'm not going to stay too long on it. I think that if you're a sex worker, you're still in a business. You know what I mean? And I think that, and I don't want people to think I'm shaming sex workers or anything, because I think they're professionals. And I think if you're going to do it, you need to be professional. You know what I'm saying?
That's the point to where I'm at, bro. Okay,
Bill Cosby is a rapist. I don't know what he did in his lifetime, but let's just assume that everything he's guilty for, right?
Right. Then
he's a rapist. Harvey Weinstein, he's a rapist. These people are rapists. You know what I'm saying? I'm not calling Cardi B a rapist, but she's still doing an act of service she agreed to, and she needs to carry herself as a professional.
And she's manipulating the terms of that contract.
Yeah, and I think it's unfair that if a woman, and I don't want to knock,
keep the same energy for the same offense. That's all I'm saying. Keep the same energy for the same offense. Like all the people that that went out and robbed, and everybody has circumstances that leads them to certain events. But to me,
they're saying that Kodak,
penetrating someone is the highest offense without consent.
You're a rapist.
Yeah, that's like the lowest of the low to me.
That's like committing murder. You're a murderer.
Thank you. It's the same.
That's a mental issue. You have a problem.
Right.
Normal people aren't just raping people. You have a power problem, or you have a self-control problem, or you have some kind of mental lapse that makes you a fucking rapist. If you can kill somebody, you are a murderer. But if you are a sex worker and you agree to engage with someone based on the premise of you give me what I want based off the money that I give you, then you need to uphold that. You know what I'm saying? And I think Cardi B was wrong, and I don't want her to lose no plays. Just like I think Kodak was wrong, but I don't want him to lose any plays, because I think that Kodak can be a voice. Cardi B is a voice. Cardi B has successfully transitioned from a ratchet personality that was a stripper, that was a Love and Hip Hop personality that we would usually step on, walk past, and look through, that has a real story to tell and could shine some light on a very
negative,
or a lifestyle that most people don't understand.
Yeah.
And she has successfully transitioned that over to white America.
Yeah. And that's what I say about a negative lifestyle, because right now it's viewed as a negative lifestyle. But I'm gonna tell you something.
And that's why
mofos on Wall Street rob people every goddamn day. So don't come at me because we signed this contract where I give you money and I'm allowing you to do what's in my best interest, and you rob me fucking for like Bernie Madoff. Like, Bernie Madoff is worse scum than Cardi to me, because he did it to you in your face. Like, he had no respect for you. He had no intent of paying you back. He took your money. He robbed you.
Well, I mean, Cardi's situation is the same thing.
Cardi's situation is, say, my bad for saying that.
Yeah, this is why I fuck with the city girls, because JT said, hey, if you's a rich nigga, I'm gonna fuck you till you ain't one. And she keeps nodding, dog. She put it out there early, dog. Yo, that's all I need. Just be honest with me, yo. Okay. You know what I mean? I know what deal is. You know what I mean? Cardi, don't take me home. Don't bait me while I'm at my weakness, man. You know what I'm saying? At my weakest point, I'm in the strip club, drunk with my homies, and not in the right mind state. You done manipulated me. You know what I mean? At least tell me in the beginning. Say, listen, fuck all the strip club shit. You can go home with me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Before I'm even drunk, all that, and just put that on the table. And it would probably be, give me the money now. You know what I'm saying? It could be a lot better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, trust me, it happens all the time in Vegas. So, I'm sure in New York, and New York was like for the longest time, and you got to understand that was the culture too. There was that huge ring of strip clubs and what would they call it? The massage parlors. It was basically like a conglomerate of people that put together a ring of establishments to do what Cardi did, drug and rob patrons of those establishments. So. Like, it's a product of an environment, bro. Like we said last episode, if you actually listen to it, she was doing what was asked of her, right?
Yeah.
She could have had somebody that if she didn't do it, she was going to end up in a worse situation. Yeah, you got to be a sound mind to get yourself out of a situation. But just like a lot of these sex workers, like it's life or death for them. And I'm not making excuses, but you have to be empathetic and understand that the situation is bigger than what you see or what you hear. You understand me?
Americans really need, and this is why I go back to us. We're going back on double topics, but this is why I go back to us, and this is why us is genius, because us is telling us, people of America, that we really need to embrace our dark side. We really need to come face to face with them problems. Sex trafficking and working happens all the time. You can make it a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
Americans can, but we frown upon it. It's so bad, but it's happening everywhere, from the church to the top executive business offices in the world to regular everyday people. It's happening all the time, but you can make that a safe space if you say, listen, this is something we need to address. And that's why, to double back to all this is what Nipsey was doing. Nipsey was saying, listen, this shit is real out here. But we can make it somewhere where people can thrive. It don't have to just be all negativity out here. You know what I'm saying? We can. I drive through. Atlanta's getting big on the vegan scene, but I'm on the south side of Atlanta, and it's coming up now. But it's so hard to just get some quality food.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally McDonald's, Zaxby's, Burger King, McDonald's, Zaxby's. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally Crystals. Like, you know what I mean? Just back to back to back to back to back to back. And they've infiltrated the people that are the most obese, the people that are going to die from high blood pressure, the people that are going to die from stroke, the people that are going to have gout and diabetes. They've infiltrated that, and they just feed it to them every day. And then I have the audacity to drive by the McDonald's at 11 o'clock at night and be mad at them when I know better, and I can easily try to open up a vegetable market or fresh market. And I can have young rappers out there entertaining people. Come see what it's about here. You know what I'm saying? We could easily do that in our community, but we choose not to. The people that are woke in the community, or the people that know better in the community. And I mean, it's picking up. You know, people are becoming more and more open to shit, but that's just what I'm saying. Like, you drive through the hood every day and you literally are disgusted. And black people don't pretend like you're not. Even people in the hood are disgusted. They walk outside, they say, there's some ugly ass shit going on out here. When they could easily just plant a garden. They could easily paint their neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? They just don't know how, you know, and I just pray. And I just went off on a tangent about some shit that ain't had nothing to do with this episode. We went from Cardi and sexual assault.
I loved it.
But we, you know what I mean? We just gotta do better as a people, man. You know, I can't be on this goddamn podcast all day. I got shit to do. But,
and going off of, and we're getting ready to close this up. Going off of the us thing, it's not really about embracing the darkness, but embracing what.
That's exactly what it's about. Don't knock my theory, dog. Don't knock what I was on.
No. I'm not knocking your theory, bro. I'm not saying not just the darkness. I'm saying embrace whatever's underneath, below the surface, because you only see 10% of an iceberg. That's why the Titanic sank, because 90% of that iceberg was below the surface.
Spicy. My boy's getting in his bag. Yo, he's getting in the iceberg bag. Yo, the 10%. Oh shit, the tip.
My man's wilding, bro.
Yeah, that's the name of this episode. The tip.
Just the tip. But wrapping this all up, man.
Hey, nip in the tip. Hey, ooh, spicy. All right, I'm sorry.
He's wilding. Don't disrespect my name. Rip Nip. And you know what I'm saying? Embrace the lifestyle. Be more than you know, try to blend that physical capability with the mental capacity. And you know, get to the things that are below the surface. Again, I've been 817-682 or 817-ROD-682. Don't even know my damn handle. Go ahead, Drew.
This motherfucker got some more numbers in his name than a fucking Social Security.
I put on for Tarrant County, 817-682, stand up.
He also puts on for Tarrant County. It's your boy, Thrice Dust. I'm off the AKAs now, dog, because there's no point. Endgame comes out. We're probably gonna break that movie down. It's probably gonna be. Honestly, I'm ready for the motherfuckers to die, dog. I'm so goddamn tired of the regular Avengers, bro. I'm so tired of seeing fucking Thor and these fools. Anyway, yeah, come on, dog. You ain't tired of seeing Iron Man fly in every day with the same super uber rich jokes,
bro. They're all getting old. But yeah, that's been our episode.
Dog, let me get my shit off, dog.
Nah, we're not gonna do that today.
Follow us on social media, man. Continue to support the movement, whatever movement that may be. I don't know what our movement is yet, but hey, man, just continue to support. We just regular dudes trying to, you know, just express ourselves and, you know.
Because we don't get to express ourselves in any other form. I've been Rodney Lee.
I wish you would stop with this bullshit, dog. Weird times.